The Dales. You will hear tales of the woman Andraste. The Shemlin name her prophet, bride of the Maker, but we knew her as a war leader, one who, like us, had been a slave and dreamed of liberation. We joined her rebellion against the Imperium, and our heroes died beside her, unmourned into winter bonfires. But we stayed with our so-called allies until the war ended. Our reward? A land in southern Orlais called the Dales, so we began the long walk to our new home. Halim Sharal, the end of the journey, was our capital. Built out of the reach of the humans, we could once again forget the incessant passage of time. Our people began the slow process of recovering the culture and traditions we had lost to slavery. But it was not to last. The Chantry first sent missionaries into the Dales, and then, when those were thrown out, Templars. We were driven from Halim Sharal, scattered. Some took refuge in the cities of the Shemlin, living in squalor, tolerated only a little better than vermin. We took a different path. We took to the wilderness, never stopping long enough to draw the notice of our Shemlin neighbors. In our self-imposed exile, we kept what remained of elven knowledge and culture alive. The end of the long walk, as told by Merrill, keeper of the Ralpharian clan of the Dalish elves. Many forget that when Andraste called out to the opposed peoples to rise up, it was the elves who answered her first. The humblest slaves of the Imperium became her vanguard, and when victory came, they were rewarded accordingly. They were given a land in what is now the south of Orlais called the Dales. A great exodus of elves undertook the journey to their new home, crossing ocean, desert, and mountain. Their city, the first elven city since the fabled Arlathan, was called Halim Sharal. A new era had begun for the elves. But the old era wasn't through with them. In their forest city, the elves turned again to worship their silent, ancient gods. They became increasingly isolationists, posting emerald knights who guarded their borders with jealousy, rebuking all efforts at trade or civilized discourse. Dark rumors spread in the lands that bordered the Dales, whispering of humans captured and sacrificed to elven gods. And then came an attack by the elves on the defenseless village of Red Crossing. The Chantry replied with the exalted march of the Dales, and the era of the Elven Kingdom came to an end. Halim Sharal was utterly destroyed, the elves driven out, scattered, left to survive on goodwill alone. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar.